Have you ever wondered about the cost of living in Canada in 2024? Let's dive into it. Living in Canada is a unique experience, but the cost can vary greatly. For a single individual, the average cost of living, with rent included, is approximately $1,800 per month. For a couple, this figure jumps to $3,500. To live comfortably, it is estimated that a single person would need roughly $2,771 each month. For a family of 4, things look a little different. The recommended monthly cost for a family of this size is approximately $5,230. Several factors influence these costs, including your location, the province you're in, and your lifestyle. Ontario and British Columbia, for instance, are among the most expensive provinces, while New Brunswick and Newfoundland and Labrador are on the cheaper end of the spectrum. It's also worth noting that major cities like Vancouver tend to have higher rental and transit costs. Personally, I would try to avoid the bigger cities as long as you are able to, unless your job requires you to be there. Despite these varying costs, one thing remains the same across the board. The cost of living in Canada has been on an upward trend, largely due to inflation. This has made it increasingly challenging for many to make ends meet. So as you can see, the cost of living in Canada varies greatly depending on several factors. But how does the cost of living compare across different provinces? Let's dive in and compare the cost of living in various provinces. Now, it's important to remember that the cost of living isn't uniform across Canada. It varies significantly from province to province, with some areas being more affordable than others. Consider Ontario and British Columbia, for instance. These provinces are typically on the pricier end of the spectrum. Why is that, you ask? Well, rent and housing are major cost factors that drive up the average monthly expenses. Ontario and British Columbia have some of the highest housing costs in the country, which naturally inflates the overall cost of living. But it's not just about rent. These provinces also have higher costs for essential goods and services. And let's not forget about transit. Getting around in major cities like Vancouver can be quite costly, with public transit and car ownership expenses adding up. On the flip side, New Brunswick and Newfoundland and Labrador offer a more affordable lifestyle. The cost of housing, groceries, and transportation is generally lower in these provinces, making them attractive options for those looking to stretch their dollar further. But remember, while the cost of living may be lower, it doesn't necessarily mean these provinces offer the same opportunities or lifestyle as their pricier counterparts. Each province has its own unique advantages and disadvantages, and what might be a perfect fit for one person might not work for someone else. It's clear that the province you choose to live in significantly influences your cost of living. It's a game of balance, finding that sweet spot between affordability and the lifestyle you're seeking. So when planning your move, it's crucial to consider not only the cost, but also what each province has to offer. Therefore, the province you choose to live in significantly influences your cost of living. And what about the financial concerns of Canadians? How are they coping with these costs? A recent Scotiabank survey paints a startling picture. More than 7 out of 10 Canadian workers feel the rising cost of living is outpacing their income growth. That's a significant majority grappling with financial pressures. Day-to-day expenses, debt repayment, and emergency savings top the list of financial concerns. Day-to-day expenses can range from groceries to utilities, while debt repayment could include anything from credit card bills to student loans. And emergency savings? Well, we all know how crucial it is to have a safety net for those unexpected life events. The survey also revealed that a quarter of respondents are losing sleep due to financial stress. That's 1 in 4 Canadians lying awake at night, their minds filled with worries about their financial future. Many Canadians are actively seeking ways to manage their finances better in this challenging economic climate. This shows a resilience and desire to take control of their financial situation rather than being controlled by it. This is a huge part of what we talk about on this channel, financial responsibility. It is now more important than ever. It is evident that the rising cost of living in Canada is a significant concern for many Canadians, underscoring the importance of financial planning and management.